Hi there, this is James Swanwick, and you're listening to the Alcohol-Free Lifestyle Podcast, where you learn how to take back control over alcohol and live a life of health, wealth, love, and happiness. This is James Swanwick. The Alcohol-Free Lifestyle Podcast is proudly sponsored by my sleep and peak performance company, Swanwick Sleep. If you suffer from average or poor sleep in the night, or you're staring at screens all day on your computer or phone, then block as much of that harmful blue light as possible by wearing a pair of Swannies blue light blocking glasses. I designed Swannies back in 2015, and they've now helped almost 200,000 people sleep and perform better. I like to wear my Swannies in the last hour before I go to sleep at night and while I'm using screens throughout the day. An independent study of people wearing Swannies found that people fell asleep faster, slept deeper, and woke up feeling more refreshed. Daytime wearers of Swannies reported more clarity, focus, and energy. If you'd like to sleep and perform better and get 20% off your pair of Swannies, the best blue light blocking glasses on the market, go to swannies.com/James and enter the code James at checkout for your 20% off. And if you can't remember that and you're in the US right now and on your cell phone, just text the word Swannies to the number 44222. Again, you can go to swannies.com/James and enter code James at checkout for 20% off, or you can text the word Swannies to the number 44222 if you're in the US and on your mobile phone right now. The Alcohol-Free Lifestyle Podcast is also sponsored by Project 90, the top performance and quit drinking program for six-figure entrepreneurs and professionals. Project 90 helps you feel better, sleep better, and perform better by quitting alcohol. If you know you're drinking too much, if you know that your current drinking habits are compromising your sleep, relationships, health, and your happiness, and you feel ready to finally get your drinking under control by quitting for at least 90 consecutive days and possibly much, much longer, then Project 90 will help you. You'll join a group of other like-minded peak performers whose drinking is currently getting in the way of them performing at their peak. I generate the most success for over 40 entrepreneurs, business owners, top professionals, salespeople, retirees, people who are around that midlife stage in their 40s, 50s, or 60s and have a high-pressured life and want to feel better. If that's you, then you're invited to schedule a free 15-minute strategy session phone call with one of my top quit drinking coaches to see if Project 90 is for you. Now, there's nothing to buy on that free call. It's just an exploratory chat to see if or how we can help you. We'll identify the number one thing holding you back from quitting alcohol and creating the life you want, and we'll build you an action plan to get ultimate power over alcohol so you can feel and perform better in all areas of your life. The call is free and your action plan will be free, and you'll walk away from the call with a plan that you can implement on your own. And if you want our help implementing the plan through accountability and coaching and support, then we can schedule another call to talk about how. If you'd like to go ahead and book that call, you can go to jamesswanwick.com/schedule. That's jamesswanwick.com/schedule. Or if you're on your phone in the US right now, you can text the word Project 90 to the number 44222. That's jamesswanwick.com/schedule, or text the word Project 90 to the number 44222. Okay, let's get into today's episode.
Hi, my name is Tim, and I'm 118 days alcohol-free.
Amazing, Tim. 118 days alcohol-free. How do you feel?
Clear, triumphant. I mean, it's the longest I've ever gone alcohol-free, and clarity, all the good stuff you pitched at the beginning was true times 10. Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about you. How old are you? Where are you based? What do you do? And what were your drinking habits before you joined us and got our help in helping you stay alcohol free?
Yeah. So my name is Tim. I am 35 years old and I live in Oregon, both Central Oregon and Portland, Oregon. I run my own business. I specialize in helping commercial real estate investors with loans to acquire income-producing property. And with that comes a lot of cocktail hours, a lot of rubbing of elbows with all referral sources. And I probably drank a lot more during work, which is usually 5-6 days a week, partaking in those happy hours, and it was just getting a little much. I did take steps before learning about you, James, with my now wife. We took alcohol out of the house, and that was a good step, but it wasn't the end all be all. I just caught myself having more meetings. So I knew I needed to reach out and get some help, that this isn't something I can go at it alone. And I probably drank, I would say on average 3 nights a week, and not just a few. It was decently heavy.
And what were you drinking?
Not a big beer guy, although I love beer. I was mainly drinking Manhattans, cocktails.
And what effect did you notice that your drinking habits were having on your life in general?
Oh, just it's putting everything I had to deal with on hold. The hangovers got worse as we get, we all say as we get older, as an entrepreneur, we naturally take on more than when I had the 8 to 5. And so I don't know if it's an older thing as much as it is that the brain needs to be sharp all the time, clear. And I was dealing with anxiety and stress drinking, and it was no good. It just drug me down. I love your videos before I joined, especially the 30-day no alcohol challenge. And, I think you were the actor in your own video when you were getting up groggy. That would look better than how I felt every morning.
And how was it affecting your business? You said you're in commercial real estate.
Yes. I was irritable the next day. I probably had missed opportunities with clients, prospects, trying to turn them clients because of irritability. You're short fused. And then as I'm missing those opportunities, people that were choosing to work with me, this is my own reflection now after 90 days, of course. I've never heard anything to the contrary, but I do know that fostering the relationship, we're usually together for 90 days until we close their transaction. And just so many roadblocks. It's everything I worried about to, concerned about how they're feeling and do they like this transaction? Do they like how I'm treating them? And hangovers don't allow a lot of time to think. And so without that clarity, I missed out on probably a good chunk of revenue that I otherwise would have gotten just by my phone ringing.
Can you put an estimate on that revenue? Like, what do you think, like on an annual basis, your drinking may have been costing you and lost revenue opportunities?
I would say probably $20,000 a month, so $240,000 a year at a minimum. Yeah.
So just to be clear, that's what you weren't losing that, you just weren't making that because of your drinking.
That's correct. Yes. And that was the biggest challenge of joining this group for me and thinking, man, I don't need this group. I'm already making great money. We can only have so much. I'm really happy and in that sense monetarily, but I also, not having the clarity and being super anxious. And every time I drank, it didn't deal with anything. It just became times 10. So I'm putting a $20,000 a month on there. I'm probably shooting low, to be honest.
Yeah. So it's safe to say then that your drinking was costing you $250,000 a year. Absolutely.
Easy.
Yeah. That's kind of insane when you think about it like that, isn't it?
It is. And James, I'll tell you, and this is for anybody listening, it will by March 30th of this year have already done the revenue I did all of 2019. And I started in your group the beginning of October.
Incredible.
Very much.
Yeah. So with clarity and productivity and efficiency and happiness and motivation and energy, you generate at least $250,000 more in business. Is that right? Can you articulate that?
Yeah. From being okay with saying no is big in my business. I'm not tied to any one route for a client. And so with a good reputation, that can get I'm a yes person. So when alcohol was in my life and, I had a hangover, didn't feel good, everything was just, yes, we'll figure it out later. And I may have said yes to 5 people that were going to be an absolute time suck and a lot of hand-holding, which I'm okay with doing, but I wasn't paying attention to the quality of leads I was taking. And I think the reason why I can monetarily say the amount that I may have missed out on versus what's different now is I'm able to slow down, make sure it's the right fit for both parties. It's always the right fit for someone in need, but was it the right fit for both parties? And then I started focusing on larger, more economic projects to where I can slow down and put my time into a few projects that paid more than worried about taking every single phone call and being the yes man. So the clarity is beyond any cliche that I can even say, at least tied to my business and my personal life, which, we can have a whole hour on that alone, taking alcohol out. But, business wise, it's been exactly how I found you. Yeah. Everything I saw was just so accurate.
So tell me how your personal life then has changed from being 118 days alcohol-free now.
So I was drinking on my wedding, mainly because center of attention's not always been easy for me. I know I run a business, so that sounds a little ironic. A lot of what I use over the phone. And I was drinking on my wedding. I wasn't doing anything irresponsible, but, it meant for being more exhausted and we didn't enjoy each other. After the wedding was over, we just went to bed. And, that's kind of when I started discovering your program. I say that because I just imagine if I had what you offered before my wedding, I might have not been so tired during my wedding. And so that's translated into our personal life. We have our new happy hours, as we like to call them. I like the phrase happy hour. But that doesn't have to mean alcohol. So every morning we get together and we have coffee for a solid hour and we talk about the week and the day. And that's not stuff I was doing hungover. And for my wife and I, it's huge because in a marriage, especially young, we're going to have the honeymoon phase wear off. I hope not, but if it does, communication's huge. And it's just allowed us to just prosper and be on the same page a lot sooner in this first year of marriage than I think had I had alcohol in my life.
So do you look back on your wedding day now and what do you think or feel like you could have done differently on your wedding day? Like, do you regret drinking or you don't regret it? It's fine. But like how do you look back on that day now, which was kind of like the earlier version of Tim Steele?
I think I don't regret it at all. Like I said, nobody could tell. For me, I just got tired. I didn't feel like I was celebrating 100% the way people were celebrating us. And I likely would have been kind of like the irritability. While I didn't act irritable, it was okay if I didn't say hi to someone. I was okay with being a prop, photographer here and come over here and say hi to this person. I didn't feel as present than I probably would have been alcohol-free.
And what has your wife noticed about the shift in you?
My anxiety has dropped substantially. She sees that I think more clearly. Self-awareness is something I don't dread or worry about when it's outside of what I do well. Again, not to sound like a fortune cookie or a cliche, but it really is self-love. And it translates into so much. But she has seen my anxiety drop. I mean, I was only 30 days in your program, and she just looked at me, and she didn't know it on day 30. And she said, I got to tell you, I haven't experienced you like this in the whole time I've been dating you. And I said, well, what do you mean? She said, you're just so calm. And I'm thinking, I'm always calm. What are you talking about? And that's a bit of the oblivion when you have alcohol in your life.
Sort of stuff. And we're having...
Amazing. It's so wonderful to hear that for you, that you're getting that feedback from your wife.
Yeah. She's really good. She's been alcohol free for 3 years. And so I've only seen her drink once when we were courting. And it was just her choice. And she never pressured me to do it, but she's always heard my heart in wanting to do it. And I did it alone twice. Guys, I quit for 5 months in 2018. I quit for 5 months in 2019. All started with your classic dry January. And I was sharing in the group in this 90 days that I tell that story confidently. Yet I found a journal I was keeping on my first 5 months, and I probably had 28 drinks that I wrote down in my journal that I carry in my wallet in that first 5 months. And so all that to say, it just didn't seem like I wasn't drinking. I was alcohol free for all I knew. And so I just couldn't do it alone. And she's been such a support whether it was your program or some public programs out there that we all know. And this is far different than what you can get. It's more intimate, and it's tough to find people that are like-minded. And that's what's so great about your group is you find people that are all kind of, higher functioning and entrepreneurs and all the good stuff that comes with, we're all struggling with the same thing. And it's very safe. So my wife made it safe to be exploratory, and then your program was just a slam dunk. I mean, it made so much sense.
Thank you. Thank you for your feedback on that. And so what is your plan around your drinking or non-drinking now that you've completed the 90 days of my program? So what's your intention now?
Well, I don't want it to stop. I can tell you that the stuff I'm already seeing has happened so fast. It's almost too good to be true. And it's because of becoming alcohol free. So I don't want this momentum to stop. As the coach that you paired me with, Kevin, said, upgrades. What are going to be your upgrades? And for me, it's continue working on my anxiety that I deal with, but continue being alcohol free. I want to stay quit. That was my goal when we first talked. Now, obviously, I have my cravings and I have habits that come up that tell me to drink, and it's getting that sparkling water and just staying true to myself and being okay with getting through anything without alcohol. So staying quit's the goal. I just don't want this to stop, this momentum that's been going. I mean, again, March 30th of this year, I'll be all of 2019 revenue. That did not happen because alcohol was in my life.
Got it. Incredible. Well, I want to acknowledge you because you've done so tremendously well, and you were always a source of support for other members in the group. So I always say within our program, the best way to learn anything is to coach it and to teach it. And you were actually coaching and teaching by sharing your story as you went along. Because if you're on day 72 and then someone just joins the program and they're on day 7 in their first week, they're looking to people like you to see how you are on day 72, and that inspires them and encourages them to move along. And I definitely noticed and recognized and was so appreciative of the way that you supported other members in that, and that you were open to coaching, and that you weren't in victimhood, and that you were vulnerable and shared. And so I personally want to thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Your whole group makes it easy. And anybody out there listening, the first few weeks, you're going to go through with what you do. And it just becomes so easy because everybody, again, wants to work together. And that's what makes it great. It's not like a few people in your group came up to say, well, I'll take some lead. I'll throw out a piece of what's working for me. It just, everybody ends up becoming that way. It's really what you've built. And so thank you as well.
Yeah. Wonderful. All right. Well, Tim Steele, congratulations again, 118 days and beyond. We'll keep rocking and rolling. And it seems like your business and your wife's going to be happy. She's going to keep being happy. And it sounds like your business is going to keep generating a ton more revenue than what it was when you were drinking, by the sounds of things.
Yeah, absolutely. She's ready to quit her job. So she's going to coach it, but she loves me not drinking, even if we were living in a van by the river. She's just alcohol free as us, man. It really is.
Thanks for listening to the Alcohol Free Lifestyle podcast. I want to load you up with some free stuff right now. So if you want to go to jamesswanwick.com/guide, I will send you my Quit Alcohol Guide, which has helped 6-figure entrepreneurs and top professionals reduce or quit drinking. You can also text the word QUIT GUIDE to the number 44222 if you're in the US, of course. It doesn't really work anywhere outside of the US. But if you're in the US on your mobile phone and you'd like that guide, text the word QUIT GUIDE to the number 44222, or you can go to jamesswanwick.com/guide. If you'd like to schedule a free 15-minute call with one of my top coaches, just an exploratory call to see if or how we can help you, then you can go to jamesswanwick.com/schedule, or you can text the word Project 90 to the number 44222 if you're listening in the US on a mobile phone. That's jamesswanwick.com/schedule, or you can text the word Project 90, that's one word, Project 90, to the number 44222. Feel free to send me a direct message over on my Instagram account, which is @JamesSwanwick. You can also watch video episodes of this podcast and a series of other educational videos on my YouTube channel, which is James Swanwick 1, or you can direct message me on Facebook @JamesSwanwickOfficial. And finally, a request. Would you please now write a short review of the podcast inside of the Apple Podcast app on your phone or on iTunes on your desktop computer? Would you please give the show 5 stars and write a quick 1 or 2 sentence review? This will help the show get in front of even more listeners, potentially transforming someone's life. You can rate and review the show inside of your Apple Podcast app on your phone or over on iTunes on your desktop. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you next time.